Hello everybody, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. I'm Jason. This is my fuzzy co-star Freya. She might make an appearance. You're gonna, come here. She's just looking at me like I've lost my damn mind. And we're bringing you today's video. As always guys, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We would appreciate any support for our small little family channel. Don't forget, down below, links to our Discord channel, and I have links to the books now suggested by some of you guys. I signed us up for the Amazon affiliates program, so I've got the links now. Just got to get some traffic through them or they'll kick us out of the program. So today I want to talk about a new series. I'm going to talk about all the books in the series up to this point. I want to talk about a new series very, very similar to a series that I've been reading lately that has become one of my favorite series, probably my number 2 lit RPG series. And this one is probably my top 5. Might be my number 3 favorite lit RPG series. So I want to talk about Tom Elliot in his book, The Grand Game, or the series, The Grand Game. I'm going to talk about book 1. So as always, I'm going to talk about 4 things: the world, the character, plot, and the writing style. So the world. The world is interesting, and I don't want to get too much into it because I've read all of the books so far released in it, and offer too many spoilers that may be coming out later. But it's an isekai type story in that the character comes from another world, but they have no memory. Don't know what world they come from, what type of person they were, anything along those lines. Now, this is obviously your lit RPG type swords and sorcery sort of world. So there are of course levels and classes and abilities and things along those lines. It's kind of video game-ish. Outside of that, this particular book occurs in a dungeon. An old school dungeon dive. Those of you guys that are gamers will appreciate that. The main character's name is Michael, and he is part of a group, and the reason that the series is called The Grand Game is because this entire world is a game. You've got your NPCs, but outside of that, everyone that actually has any real power in this world is called a player, because they came from somewhere else, or at least that's what is presented right now. Like Michael is a player, he came from somewhere else. He's a group of people that were pulled to begin their run through the Grand Game. Everybody, including the person that pulled him over, is also a player. They're just very, very high level. And we learned that there are players, there are powers, which are just basically gods. But it turns out those gods started out as players and are still players. They're just extremely powerful players. And we start learning a little bit about forces. But for the most part, the beginning part of this book, and now I'm going into a little bit into the plot line, the beginning part of this book deals with survival, basically. It's introduction to the game, and then survive the dungeon. Survive the dungeon, be the best, make it out of the dungeon into the world. But we start learning there's a lot of politics. Throughout the book, we learn about the politics of the powers. Again, the powers are basically demigods, and they're all looking for control, more power, more forces, more people that are sworn to them, that follow them, things along those lines. Now, Michael doesn't want anything to do with any of that. He's a very independent person. And as he learns more about these forces, the fundamental forces, light, dark, and shadow, and starts learning a little bit more about the powers, these gods, these demigods, such as the Master, the one that pulled him over, and then one named Loken, which basically is kind of their analog to Loki, and other powers start to appear. It gets pretty fascinating. And again, Michael doesn't want anything to do with it, so he's working very hard to keep himself separated from any of these powers or forces. He can't help but get a little bit of influence into each one of them, which is kind of normal as we learn, but he really doesn't want anything to do with them. And then he suddenly starts learning about things slightly outside the powers and forces, namely Wolf. And again, this tends to draw a lot of parallels to the Rise of the Winter Wolf series, which, like I said, is my second favorite lit RPG series. Absolutely awesome. But this book, while this particular book occurs in a dungeon, the rest of the series does not. Well, parts of them will occur in dungeons, but it's much more of an expanded world, which is really cool. Really cool. It's different. Even though it has a lot of similarities with Rise of the Winter Wolf, it's different. It's definitely different. The writing style, awesome. It is absolutely awesome. And the world, the lit RPG type of world that he has created, it's really, really, really cool. Characters don't have one class; they have up to 3 classes. But you can even get blends, bi blends, tri blends, and evolutions, skills, and of course you have tiers to your skills. You can evolve your skills. You can level up your skills, and the skills can evolve or change. And again, guys, it's cool. It's really fascinating. The reason that I'm trying to be careful with this is because I've read all the books released up to today in this series, and I read them all on the same day because this was so good I could not put it down. So if you were a lit RPG fan and you enjoyed say Defiance of the Fall, if you've enjoyed Rise of the Winter Wolf, check out the Grand Game. Yes, you're gonna go, okay, this almost seems like it's a kind of a copy of Rise of the Winter Wolf, and only up to a point. Only up to a point. And then it moves away and continues on. And it's different. It truly, truly is different. While there are some strong similarities, both have very strong wolf ties. Outside of that, it's different. It's different. It's its own series, and it's really, really, really good, guys. It's really good. It was impossible for me to put down any of the 4 books. So, guys, please check it out. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will catch you next time. Bye now.